What's up, my fellow literatis, my Black literary arts specialists, all of you, what's up? You're tuned in to Gathering of the Griots once again here on Tuesday, and we are going to have a good time today, as usual, because we're talking about the big event coming up April 20th. So be ready for the goodness, but we always start with my message from Naima Latif, and let's get it rolling.
Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, bonjour. In Spain, hola. In Italy, ciao. In Egypt, ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, akwaba. In Nigeria, peleo. In South Africa, sawubona. In Senegal, nangadef. In Kenya, jambo. In Israel, shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
All right, so let's just get right to it. You see what's going down right here, the Spring Fling. That's the next Soulful Chicago Book Fair, April 20th. And if you know what I know, we don't do boring. That's just not what we do. And so when you come in and experience that event, first of all, you already know Black book selling left and right. There's going to be all kind of genres, children's, nonfiction, fiction, right? But we got some special guests today because they're bringing the newness and the extra flavor to the event with visual arts, activities for adults and children. What? You might be able to make a book on the spot. So April 20th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? At the Betty Shabazz Academy right there on 78th Street in Ellis. That's 7823 South Ellis. And I'm just telling you, I'm excited because there are people who have been around for years, but man, they keep coming back, and then new authors keep coming. We're going to have entertainment by Sherry Soul. Love her singing. We're going to have Dion Victoria. She'll be visiting us today, who's bringing the visual arts. We got music magic time, and that is going to be children's fun and music. And so, look, like I said, we don't do boring. We're not into that. Okay, we're into excitement. Look, I want to see me behind this flyer. Move that flyer out my way. But yes, indeed. So we're here today. We're going to be talking to people who are actually going to be at the event, creating the festivities. I feel like this. There's a serious side to us in reading, and there's a fun side to us in reading. I prefer to be on the fun side because the not fun side has to do with the history of our people in this country when it comes to reading. So let's just get some things clear now. Let's get some things clear. Number one, how can the people that invented writing not read? Stop it. We definitely read, but I want us to be clear on something else that this country did. It's called anti-literacy laws. Those laws did not exist just in general. They were made specifically for Black people. Okay. And if you got caught reading, go look it up, anti-literacy laws. If you got caught reading, that could mean a punishment where you lose your eyes, fingers, tongue, like real heinous things. And so my thing is, we're going to debunk that effort. We don't care about that. And nor do we believe in it, because I say this, we have serviced over 1,000 Black authors since 2016. We've approved to be in our book fairs over 1,000 Black authors. So that's just me, and that's not everybody. And so what that means, people talk about, if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. Look, how can we be writing all these books and then not reading? And so I need us to pay attention to ourselves, create the effect that we want to create, and just not be bothered with any of this hoopla nonsense about us and reading. And so we're here to celebrate reading. We're here to get this party started. And I'm going to tell you, as I'm getting folks registered for this event, I'm just, if you could see the beauty of our people and the subject matter that we focus on, I find it to be so not only heartwarming, but it's like, you go ahead, Black people. You go ahead, Black people. And of course, you could be at a book fair. You don't have to be Black, but nobody represents us well. So that's where we come in. Like when they have Scholastic come and do their book fairs in our schools, we're very appreciative. But why the books don't have our children in them? That's weird to me, because our children need to see themselves in the subject matter of those books. But guess what today? Today, we're actually going to be visited by a litany of beautiful people who have something great to offer our children, our parents, our teachers. And you want to come out on April 20th just so you can see it for yourself. You need to see it for yourself. Don't take my word. See it for yourself. But we already have in the studio author that I ain't going to wait to bring her on because she's so dope. I love her work. I think that, I'm so happy I met her, and I'm going to let her tell you more about herself. But come on, Miss Nikki. Hey, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you for being here on our beautiful show gathering of the Griots. The Griots are the people who tell a story.
All
And
right.
so we're going to make sure we tell the story today with you. And so I want to thank you for coming on today, because your whole story was just unique to me. Who does this? I'm going to have you tell it, because I'm like, what? How did this happen? So tell us, Miss Nikki, we can see you got your children's books in the background. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about, how did this all come about? Was this a lifelong dream to do children's books, or what's the essence behind you starting to do children's books?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me onto the show and for allowing me the privilege of being a part of Soulful Chicago Book Fair. It was just truly an amazing experience, and I am so looking forward to the next event on April 20th. I had to say that first. You warmed my heart. Everything was just perfect. So
What?
thank you for that.
Thank you. It shook. She was dancing, y'all. Look. She had a cane on that day, and she was dancing with that bad boy. Like what? So that was you was having a good time.
I
But yes,
love it.
my love, go ahead on and tell us a little bit about yourself and the work you do.
Well, I am a former teacher of over 30 years, and my journey to writing actually began during the pandemic. I've always loved to write poetry, and as I was a child, it's very interesting. I used to design book covers. That was just something I just really loved to do, and I would write about the author on the back of the book covers. So I always knew that one day I wanted to write a book. So fast forward, I'm going through my years as an educator, and then 2020, boom, here comes the pandemic. And now I'm being challenged at home to create educational content for preschoolers online. This has
Mm,
never, ever been done before. There wasn't much training for us teachers during the time because it just happened like that. And it's just like, okay, we've got to figure this thing out. So I partnered with my oldest daughter, and she said, "Hey, mom, why don't we create some videos for your children? And that way we can keep them engaged." And because I was doing all the acting myself through the camera. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. So we began collaborating, making videos, and I would teach the lessons. And my daughter's fascinating at animating. So she animated all the videos and brought them to life. My students fell in love with the videos. I was reading other books. And then my daughter, my oldest baby, challenged me. She said, "Mom, you're reading other people's books, which is fantastic." She said, "But I challenge you to make that dream a reality and write your own book." So I was like, Okay, well, I will take the challenge." So I began my writing journey. During that time, I wrote Billy Goat's Gruff, which is a modernized version of the fairy tale. And I always love fairy tales, but I just felt that they could have a better and more positive message and that they should be modernized. And then my daughter and I collaborated on Little Red Riding Hoodie, which she wrote, and she's also my illustrator as well, with a very positive message inside of it as well. Our whole message and our whole platform is about spreading positivity and love. So we ended up, fast forward, we ended up submitting our videos that we were animating to a teaching show called We Still Teach. And we were accepted. And we were on the show for 2 years where our videos were featured on the show. So that was an amazing ride. It was on Fox 32. And wow, it was just an incredible ride. So that's part of the journey. And we were just riding along and just doing fantastic things. And then boom, here comes a road bump. In 2021, I became injured and found myself bedridden, in a lot of pain. I had an injury that caused a traumatic brain injury. I couldn't sit up. It was too painful. My head hurt so bad. I had to lay flat, ice my head. I ended up using a walker. I ended up going to neuro rehabilitation to be able to get in speech therapy as well. During this time, I began speaking affirmations over myself because it was a time for me to be quiet because there was nothing I could do. I listened to meditations and I just began speaking and proclaiming affirmations over myself. And during that time, while I was bedridden, out came affirmation cards. I began to write them because I just, it was helping me on my journey. So I said, why don't I just do a deck for children? I used to use them in my classroom and they need this. So I began to write my affirmation cards, and my daughter came over to my bedside. I asked her, "Can you please illustrate them and bring these to life?" I told her exactly what I wanted, and boom, our affirmation cards were born. Fast forward to 2023, where we released them at Printers Row Literature Festival, and they were a great success.
mm.
People loved them, and they just were glad to see positivity being spread and just having that coming from that lens of social emotional development. So that's how it all began. And from that, I just wrote the affirmation book to go along with the card. So here's the affirmation book that just came about. And once again, my daughter, she illustrates everything for me. So this is the affirmation book that goes along with the affirmation cards. So my goal and our objective in Nikki's Tiny Town, because all of my daughters are involved. I want to say that too. It's a family affair. It's a beautiful thing. It makes me want to really cry how we have all together. But my daughters, they are the heartbeat and the pulse of Nikki's Tiny Town. They inspire me. One of my daughters, she helps with the sound team. We're doing everything ourselves. We're animating. We're actually doing the sounds. We're writing the material. All of the work that you see before me is all of my daughters collaborating. One daughter's, hey, we're going to do these moves on the video. My other daughter's shooting the scenes for the video. It's all of us putting everything together. My youngest is on the sound team. She's making noises like, and we're recording the clapping sound, because I didn't realize until we got into this field that you have to have a license for sounds, or you have to create your own sounds. You just can't take somebody else's sound that they made. So we do a lot of our own sounds, you know. So everybody is on board, my wonderful, beautiful daughters, and I really appreciate them. And our goal is to spread positivity, love, a positive self-concept, to really encourage not only children, but adults as well, to speak affirmations over yourself. Because our minds are incredible. Our minds are very, very incredible. And we have to watch what is going through our minds, because those negative thoughts become impermeated in us. So we have to change it around. We have to speak these positive affirmations to instill that love for yourself. Because you have to love yourself first before you can do any good in this world. You have to love you. So I start my day every day. I'm going to show you. I have my affirmation, and I just start it every single day. And I look in the mirror and I say, I am amazing. I am amazing. And I repeat it until I really feel it. And it helps so much, because when a negative thought may come into your mind, immediately you hear, I am amazing. I can do this. So that's my story.
Look, y'all. She gonna maybe go like this. Look. She has shared so much. The biggest thing is the girl gonna say all her daughters are involved. Like, that is so huge. You understand? All her daughters are involved, just from a standpoint of legacy. And our children not having to just go through school, come out, go to college, get a job. All of that is a wrong model, unless it's really planned well, and unless that school is giving them what they need to go farther in the world. But it's just too many people who don't have it. And so when you can create something that your children can follow, can take to the next level. It's so funny. We have such parallels. I had a stroke in 2009, and that was the impetus for me to do my first book. And my daughter's book came out when she was, 7? She's 20 now. But I taught her how to do photography. And just that whole mother-daughter vibe of creating an enterprise is a model people should follow, because, girl, that's amazing. Everything you said. Look, I am amazing. Look, I need to get them cards when I come to the book fair. I am amazing. So I can do my affirmations.
And my affirmations are from A to Z. So they're dual purpose. They have the alphabet on one side. So we have A, and the corresponding affirmation, I am amazing. So the whole set goes from A to Z, and it matches the book. And it comes with instructions. And it teaches children that your words are magical. Your words, what you speak, is magical. When you're speaking, you're either speaking in a positive way or you're speaking in a negative way. So how do you want to use your words as your magic? How do you want to speak over yourself? So the cards come with instructions teaching the parents how to utilize the cards with the children to get it ingrained. Because I did this with my students. We would do this every single day.
Nice.
And it just transferred through the whole classroom. One student was, I can't do it. And another student pat on the back. Remember, you're amazing. You know, you can do this. We would always speak over ourselves. I just love teaching was just such my passion. So I'm teaching in another way now, you know, online, but just being able to instill that in the children when they are young. We
Yes.
need to start. The brain is developing from preschool through age 8 is when it's really expanding in that absorbent sponge. So we need to build that foundation during that time by teaching these skills while they are young so it can be permeated into the brain.
Nice.
We, even as adults, need to eliminate that self-talk. We're guilty of it, all of us. We're like, I was so stupid. You don't need to talk to yourself that way because you tried. And nothing ever beats a failure but a try.
Get them. Get them. Get them. So
You gotta make our dancing. You know I love dancing.
look, get them. I add that you better, because that's what you create. You literally have great products. They you can see the quality of them. I love that your daughters are illustrators. And you guys, I want you to come see Miss Nikki on April 20th at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair. She will be there with all her books and her affirmation cards. And it's about you getting them for your children, for your grandchildren, for your students. I love you. Thank you so much for being here today, Miss Nikki. Yeah. Quality. Love you much.
And also I have a YouTube channel. So
Please.
if anyone listening, please like and subscribe. My goal this year, I have over 500,000 views, but my goal this year is to get my subscribers up to over 10,000. And it is already done. It's already done.
It's already done.
Just assist me to go over that goal, okay?
That's all.
And
I love it.
and at the end of my videos, I always say hugs and love. So I'm saying that to you, hugs and love.
I love it. What's your YouTube channel?
Nikki's, Nikkis, Tiny, Tiny, Town, TOWN. And the website is www.nickystinytown.com. Nikki's Tiny Town. So Nikki, the Tiny Town are little people.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much, my love. We appreciate you heavily. Peace. All right, y'all. You already know. Y'all get ready for excellence. That's what we do, excellence. And so our next guest to come on is fabulous. She's an artist. Why do I love her so? Because she's so effective. And, you know, I don't know if you know artists, but I love artists' ability to duplicate the world, to create imagery that makes you think. The utilization of colors, the utilization of concepts. I just love it. And I'm so happy that we have with us today. One of my boobies. Booby. Let me see. Let me show you her first because Dion Victoria. Dion Victoria has such a phenomenal spirit. And I was so happy when she agreed to come to the stage. Let me bring her on. Hey, mama, let me get you big up in here. How are you today?
I am wonderful. I am so grateful to be here. So grateful. Oh my gosh. I was listening to the young lady before and I was like, oh wow. And so many ideas. So many.
Because you have a little booby boo.
Yes.
Right. How old is she?
Katie Ma, she is 3.
3 years old. So you already know, right? Yes. Now, I was at the car the other day, and the sister that was driving me, I said, that's my friend. That's my friend. Open that door. Open that window. It's a green light. I'm like, open that window. And I'm so glad it was you. I was like, yeah, he was reaching up in the sky. And, you know, when you see good people, that's just how you are. So, Dion, I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you for agreeing to be a part of our book fair. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be bringing, girl. What's that art party about? What we doing?
For the art party, I'm really excited about that. We're just going to unwind with art, experience materials, play. It's really about exploration. I find that when I do things that I'm not like trained or things that it's not like painting. I've been doing painting for so long. This is the thing I do. I paint. But then if I pick up a glue gun and start building things with pieces of wood, something I don't really do as an art form, but I try to make it into an art form, or I try to do something different with it, I notice just paying attention to my body, how my breathing changes and how I relax and I calm. So not only will we experience that, but it's a party. So we'll have some fun. We'll have some music playing. We'll have different opportunities. Hopefully, I wanted to talk to you about this. If we could do karaoke, because that's been a part of our party in the past. But that's just the gist of it. We'll use a bunch of different materials to create things from our imaginations.
Don't get it twisted. If we gonna do it, we gonna bring in the best. We gonna bring in the best. Yeah, you see my guest now. You see my guests know how to move, baby. Get it on, baby. So Dion is such a prolific artist to me. I mean, when you go to her gallery spaces, she really, I mean, I've just never, you execute and you implement intention in your work. And it really comes through because you create such great images of us. And so I really look forward to what you're going to do with our audience. But don't get it twisted. Let me tell y'all something. This girl, she shocked me. We had an open mic. We had an open mic in a garden this past summer. And so Dion, I don't even know how she even decided. She decided to spit some bars. I said, oh no, she didn't. So yo, Dion.
Yes,
you want to perform for us a little bit. Can you give us a teeny bit? I'm put you on the spot. Can you give us a teeny bit right now, please?
I feel like writing. It's exciting how I take over this pen, getting ready to tell a story from beginning to the end, opening my eyes to what a new age griot really is. Never knowing storytelling is something I always did. From the sandbox to the camp rocks and everywhere after that, I've told stories upon stories, some of them including facts, but my favorite story is always getting turned into tracks because telling stories comes naturally. It's no act. I got racks upon racks in the back of my mind. Giving energy to positivity is how I spend my time. It's divine. It's divine. It's just a taste, you said. So that's all I could do for now.
Ooh. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you one cotton picket day. That's my grandmother. One cotton picket day. Yo, you are so good. Like, see, art to me, you first mentally, you gotta be there. You gotta be in a space where you know how to shift realities. You shift realities, you create future. It's nothing like an artist. Girl, in Scientology, we don't play. Errol Hubbard be like, you could tell sort of the emotional tone of a society based on how many artists it has. So I keep artists in the cipher. So, oh gosh, Dion, I just love you too much. You have no idea. But this is what we're talking about, guys. A book fair, not where people just gonna be selling books on the table. That's cool. But to have that activity going where people, you bring your children, they'll be able to rock with Miss Nikki that we just met. They're gonna rock with my girl, Dion Victoria. And let me tell you, how long will you be doing that all day or a certain time of day between blah and blah? Or what you want to do?
Well, I have the whole day blocked out. So
look, we got the whole day blocked out. Don't play with me. So yes, indeed. That's what anything you want to share, or you want to let people know to get ready for. You're gonna do, are they gonna be splashing paint everywhere? They're gonna need aprons. What's the deal?
No, I try to keep it, we shouldn't be splashing too much paint. We might experience some watercolor, some clay. We'll definitely have some wood pieces, some crafty things with glue sticks, collage. It's literally whatever you can think of. We'll just put these things out there for people to create something, and we'll be out there creating and making things that never existed before. So
let them know it never existed because y'all gonna create it. That's how that goes. Now people not gonna be able to say, I saw that at nothing. No, you're gonna make it here. Now, will you? I think I heard a birdie tell me, will they have an experience of making books? Is that something that might be on the table?
Oh, yes, little birdie. Thank you for reminding.
Yes.
we will absolutely be learning how to make simple books, different designs that you can create at home, if you want to try something with your children, and just a way of making something handmade. I really enjoy. I wish I brought a example, but I really enjoy the simple experience. And you don't think about how books are made until you
Mm.
make
Right.
one, and then it's like, oh wow, I can make a book
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then write in it, and it's
Nice.
completely made by me.
Completely. Completely
Yeah.
made by me. Dion, I love you, girl. Thank you for coming on today, you guys. April 20th, you're going to experience the flyness from my girl, Dion. Thank you for being on today, because I want to get people to feel, to see how you all are. You know, it's nothing like seeing the energy of the people that are involved in the thing. So y'all already know the
Yes.
excellence is here, and the
And
children will be covered. Go ahead, girl.
I just want to talk. Oh my God, that's what I'm talking about. It's about the babies.
That's right.
It's about the babies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I just want to talk about how we can interact and get to know each other. I don't know if it's okay if I mention CEO superheroes
Of
for a
course,
moment.
they are sponsor. Girl,
Okay.
what?
All right. I
Uh-huh.
just wanted to make sure I
Of
didn't want to step on
course. Come
your
on.
toes. I want to talk about some experiences coming up leading up to this event that you can partake in.
Mm-hmm.
This Sunday, we have a art STEAM experience happening in Riverdale. So you can find out more about that following CEO Superheroes on social media. And you can find out if you want to reach out to me at the Dion Victoria, just to know what's going on, because there's a lot of hard work being done out there, and them being one of the sponsors of this event makes total sense,
Mm-hmm.
because everything that I've seen come from them has been about the children. And
Right.
so I'm about the children.
That's right. Y'all see, we love the kids. You see the people that are up and involved in this event. So you're going to see them all. You're going to have that CEO superheroes energy at the event. You're going to see Dion Victoria. You're going to see Miss Nikki. And that's not all. And this event is not even just for children, but you know, we got the flyness when it comes to them. Thank you, Dion, so much for being here today. We're going to love seeing you on April 20th. And thank you for agreeing to add that essence to our event. Have a good day, beautiful.
Thank you.
Peace. All right, y'all. Here we go. Now, check it out. Here's the deal. We're going to take a little break so that you could get some more good energy and some more good news. And when we come back, now we're going to move to the adults. Then we might move back to the kids. But you're going to see all that our event has to offer after these messages. And get ready. If you want to call in, the number is 727-731-5192. All right. I'll put that at the bottom of the screen for you guys, you know, here and there. But in the meantime, let's take a break and listen to these important messages.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And Anase went back to the village with the golden box. He set the golden box and gathered the children as you are gathered now. He opened that box and stories just rushed out of the box.
This is why we are here, because of these people right here. Give it up for the young people today, baby. Give it up better than that, adults. Tell us adults that can't.
Hi, I'm Lauren Cress Love. I'm the sister of the late Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, author of the ISIS Papers and the Cress Theory on Color Confrontation. We're Chicago natives, and to honor her legacy, I'll have her books at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, Saturday, July 16th, 2016. Be there.
Black Fairy is in this book. Young John Henry, everyone's familiar with the young John Henry, and Deadwood Dick, who's a black cowboy. So these are three plays that are in this book, which has been used by a lot of groups, universities that have produced plays for children.
Hey, Black Child by Usaini Perkins. Hey, Black Child, do you know who you are?
Hi, I'm Joyce Clark. I'm 92 years old, and I have written books for black girls so that they know how important they are and they learn the mystery to their history. I'm going to be at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, and I want to see you there.
Saturday, August 3rd, 2019. Let me tell you something. When the elders endorse you, it's a wrap. That's the realness to me. I'm going to always play that video because those elders took it upon themselves to be a part of us and to be a part of our family and to just heighten the credibility of what this is. This is not just about events. This is about a movement. What we're doing. And so we give honor and homage to those elders, Mama Love, Marcellus Burke, Timuel D. Black. I just heard that Bennett Johnson joined the ancestors, Usaini Perkins. We love you. And I know you watching over us, making sure that we get the literary flavor going. Y'all pray. Look, elders, don't get it twisted. You prayed for us. And I'm saying that because all of that, sometimes you get this between the generations. But you got to remember what you prayed for. When we come, boop, 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 be ready, boop, boop, boop. So the book fair is a part of making sure that the literary explosion continues. So let us move to the flyness. Now, let me tell you why I love this sister. I love this sister because her faith in me is crazy. You know, this work could be lonely sometimes. No, I'm kidding. No, Baba, for real. And so it's good when you have great minds come to assist you. And this sister's great mind, you've seen her on this show a couple of times now, because I'm going to make sure I keep pumping her up. But she does books that help us grow as women, address that enemy within, and she joined our membership. She became a member of our organization. If you become a member with the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, now you mine. Now I get to promote you all the time. So let's bring on my girl, Michelle Renee. Hey, beautiful. You're on mute, girl. We can't hear that good old voice. Hear that good old voice.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, my dear?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm loving life. Let me tell y'all something.
Fantastic.
Let me tell y'all something. She be handling my life. Not see when you become a member, you get to, I'm gonna give you access to my world. So we talking about this sister comes into the metaverse, has her college classes in the metaverse. She did a workshop last night at our Monday night metaverse mingle. We talking about going into a world in the computer and being able to teach each other and share resources. Last night, she did a presentation on book reviews. How do we get more book reviews? And we shared notes. And she taught. She went to my website. She went to my place on Amazon and saw what she saw reviews I ain't even see yet. So, Michelle, I want you to just tell the audience your focus and what kind of books of yours are they going to be able to find at the April 20th Soulful Chicago Book Fair. Give it to them.
Yay. Um, I am prepared to promote 3 books at this time. The Enemy Within, and The Enemy Within is about um, an elder woman who sees her granddaughter going down the same path she did as a young woman. So she shares her journals with her to give her, a view of what life would look like if she continues down this path. And so her granddaughter reads her journals, and life just opens up for her. Her eyes are open. She sees her grandmother in a completely different way because she didn't know. Many times we hide things from our children, and her children didn't even know. And so her granddaughter is able to um, remove herself from a situation that could have been worse than her grandmother's.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the enemy within, and the enemy within is in your household. Sometimes we surround ourselves by an enemy. We don't know that he's an enemy, um, uh, because there are a couple of phases to a woman being abused emotionally and physically, and almost always it does start emotionally, and almost always it gets to a physical stage. The first stage is it's a tension. After the honeymoon phase is over, there's a tension. You can feel it increase, and there's a breakdown in communication, um, and you become fearful. You get this ache in the pit of your gut, and you can't figure out what it is. And then phase 2 is some kind of incident where a woman is verbally attacked, emotionally attacked, and physically attacked. And she becomes afraid of the anger that she sees, and the blaming that she gets, and the arguing, and the threats, and the intimidation. And then there's phase 3, where there's a reconciliation, there's an apology, or sometimes not an apology, just acts of kindness, where she sees the first person that she saw in the beginning. um, and the abuser very often gaslights and denies the abuse, denies the incident, um, and blames it on you, on the woman. And the older I get, I have I'm exposed to a lot of young men. I have sons, I have nephews, and I have students who are males. And can you believe that these days, very recently, young women are filling the same shoes these days? I got to write a story about that. But then phase 4, there's a calm. The incident is forgotten. The apology, is appreciated. And nothing, no negativity takes place. It's the honeymoon phase all over again, and then we're back to the beginning. Those are the phases, and I have as I when I wrote these stories, I actually studied. I had a personal experience. I studied the women around me. I studied my aunts and my mom, and and what happened as I was a small child, and I didn't really know what was going on. And then I studied my students and people, just other sisters around me, and it's the same thing. The phases never change. It's the four phases. They never change. It's the same thing. So I thought that I could write stories to address the issue. And in addressing the issue, in my stories, my intent is not to divide families and divide the genders. It's not that at all. What I aim to do is present the information in a story form, because we learn from stories. That's the best way to teach. It's the best way to learn. So I want to write stories that will help families, not only help women understand what they're going through, but also to help men understand what their behavior is like. And again, these days, sometimes that shoe is on the opposite foot, and it just amazes me. But in hopes that our young people can learn from the mistakes of the past, so that we don't have to always break our families up. We could just do self-reflection. And so the men who read my stories learn how not to behave. And the women who read my stories also learn how not to behave, because in many instances, when you are abused, yeah, you can blame it on other people if you like, but you got to look within yourself. What is it that caused you to put yourself in the position that you find yourself in? What is it that causes you to remain in such a state? So yes, so it causes both men and women to self-reflect, and in hopes that in self-reflection that we can learn, that we can stop our generational curses, because broken families is a generational curse.
Yes, indeed.
We did not know have broken families when we were in our motherland. We did not. We learned that here in our slavery. We learned that here. And so how do we get back to where we were before we were stolen, before we were carried away captive? So yes, look at our past. Black History Month is ending, and looking at the past, it's a good thing, so that we won't make the same mistakes. But also, what about our future?
Oh, come on with it. You know I do
How
future.
can we change our future? Black families are so broken. I mean, we are a statistic, I'm telling you. And we
Absolutely.
don't understand that in having these broken families, our children are affected, and they are affected all of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They have to learn how to live with the trauma of a broken home. And sometimes, we move too fast. It can be fixed. But other
Yes.
times we move too slow. It can't be fixed. And
Mm.
we have to understand what that looks like. But my suggestion is, don't get in it in the first place. Let's look
Mm.
at people. Let's look at ourselves. Let's examine ourselves and examine people up front.
Mm-hmm.
Up front. Stop moving so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem in many cases. We move too fast.
Take a minute. Take a minute, y'all. Take
Take
a
some
moment to
time,
pause.
and
Right.
then follow your gut.
Got you.
I'm a
Mhm.
believer in the Most High God, and He gives you this feeling in your gut. He tells
Mhm.
you this is not, you should back up. But
Yes.
we ignore that. A lot
Right.
of reasons. People ignore it for different reasons, but we ignore that. So
Absolutely.
let's start not putting ourselves in these positions where we become uh, abused emotionally or physically or spiritually or financially, let's not just let's look at ourselves. Let's look at the person that we are trying to attach our to up front. Let's do
Mm-hmm.
this ahead of time now so we can stop the generational curse of having broken families. Because I can bet you a quarter. I'm not betting no more than that because I'm not a gambler, but
Bet your God.
I can almost guarantee that a person that is experiencing abuse, they saw it ahead of time.
Yes,
They
no question.
thought the person was going to change. They thought they were all of that and they could love the thing out of the person, but you can't love that demon away.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
demon has to want to change. That
Mm.
demon has to want to identify his or her behavior, his
Mm.
or her generational curse, and has to dig deep, do some prayer or some self-reflection or some therapy or whatever else. They drink some ginger tea. I don't know.
You funny. Drink some ginger tea. We actually have a
They have
caller, honey.
to.
Look, we actually have a caller now. We've been getting it in so good with so many great people. I'm not sure what topic they want to touch on, but you do children's book too. So even if they want to take it back, we gonna circle back. Let me see who this is. We have caller 708 800. You're on. Are they still here? 708 800. You're on the line. Where you calling from? I know we was getting it in. I know you've been sitting there for a minute, but if you're still there, the line is open for you to comment.
The call just dropped, but
okay, the call dropped. Okay, we'll be right here. I'll be looking for the next message, but the call dropped. So let me just say this or ask you this, Michelle. What do you see? Who do you want to draw to the book fair to come and experience your books?
I like to draw families. I like to draw women who are in a situation where they are experiencing any phase of abuse so that they can get some hope and they can feel some strength as they read my stories and they can figure out how to get help. And I'd also like to draw a young woman and a young man too. And I keep saying young men are being abused emotionally and financially and verbally in such great lengths these days. So I would like to draw young people, Gen X and the millennials who appreciate learning from their elders, who appreciates digging into the past for the sole purpose of making the future better for themselves, their children, and their children.
Absolutely. We have to you guys, and I love situations where I could just sit and be quiet for a minute 'cause I'll be talking all the time, but we have such prolific people in our cipher here with the Soulful Chicago Book Fair. And I will ask that question because you have those of us that read, but then people think that certain populations don't really read, and our people are out here looking for answers. They're looking for solutions. And the beauty of our authors, guys, is that we usually, the ones I feature anyway, they focus on these stories being written for us, for our benefit, according to us, because a lot of people write about us and we be getting, fluxed about that. But no, when you come to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, you're dealing with people that are going to be similar to your reality. You find so many facets of us in that room, but to be able to come and read something that will give you some answers, help you understand how to handle an abusive situation, help you understand how to foster a successful relationship. We need some studying on that because
We do.
it's been off for a
Yes.
while.
Yes.
We have been under the control of others, and so we're dealing with some challenges. And what better way to find out how to address those challenges by coming and getting a book that deals with that. And so I just want to say to you, Michelle, I am so thoroughly thankful that you chose to deal with that, because it's a little vulnerability when you deal with these issues around
Mhm.
relationships abuse, because you got to tell part of your story.
You
I
do.
was I was abused. Only happened once though, baby. I told him, you hit me, you go to jail. So okay, he want to try me. Yeah, you are. He said if I hit you, that's what I want to do. Oh, you do, dude. I was on that. I was gonna call it a pulpit. I was on that court stand talking about I'll take jail time for 200. Don't play with me. I'm gonna play this like a game. But the reality is that created a chasm for my daughter, to me. You know what I'm saying? While my goal is to keep her happy all the time, there was
Mhm.
still that absence and that breaking of the family, that she didn't get to, grow up with a father figure in her life. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff just has to be healed. However, it's going to be healed over time. But your books, what I love about them, because you also do books about relationships, they're going to help people know, like you said, know what not to do,
Mhm.
women and men, and then what to do to create a harmonious living amongst our people.
Yeah, because when there is an abuser, whether it be a male or female, what that person's intent is to raise your tolerance. You
Mhm.
cannot allow them to raise your tolerance. Instead, we have to raise our standards.
Okay.
We have to understand the difference.
Between raising our
Raising your
tolerance.
tolerance and
Mhm.
raising your standards.
What do you mean by raising your tolerance exactly?
Raising your tolerance in the phases of abuse, they take you through these four phases. And so because you experience that phase four, where you go back to the beginning, how you felt in the beginning in this honeymoon phase,
Mhm.
then you are going to experience another incident,
Oh, I see. Mhm. So
and
your
the more
tolerance for the bull.
your tolerance for the bull crap.
No, I
They
see
raise
that.
your tolerance for the bull crap, but you have to not allow that. You have to raise your own standards instead.
Got you. I see what you mean, because um we do become complacent,
We
and
do.
we allow for these things to occur, but we have to shift what's normal to us.
And we do that because many of us, males and females, when I wrote these books, they were directed to females. But I'm telling you, as I live, I need to write some more because I need to write to males and females.
I got
So
you.
these stories are for the abuser too, if so that they know what not to do and how
Yes.
not to be and how
Mhm.
not to love.
Mhm. How not to love, Lord. Look, I was talking earlier this week to a friend, and talking about how in Scientology, the how love is viewed. L. Ron Hubbard talks about how love is a compound emotion of admiration and sympathy. He said people do weird dances over love, people kill over love, but it's more so admiration you want to focus on. Do you admire the person? What do you admire about them? Because love can get real funny sometime. I'm going to hit you because I love you. That's why I'm going to spank you. Or, domestic violence. Somebody is so in love with somebody that they hurt them, and as a people having experienced colonialism and slavery, that love is real confusing, because they make you think
Real
God want to hurt
confusing.
you. God is here to
Yes,
hurt you, even, and that he
yes,
advocates you being hurt. So the reality is, we need a new normal
we
where we
do.
treat each other good, and
Hmm.
we actually finesse good relationships
Where we
before we
can
can tolerate
love and be loved. We
Mhm,
can learn how to love each other. And
mhm.
can I end with this? It's
Come on, baby.
still, they don't have to hit you. They don't have
Right.
to choke you. They don't have to slam your head into a wall in order for it to be domestic violence. They can
Mm,
degrade you, humiliate you,
mm,
blame you, scream at you,
mm-hmm,
lie to you,
mm,
cheat on you, gaslight you, making you think it's your fault. They can
mm-hmm,
withhold finances or
mm-hmm,
take all of your finances. And they can even just try to control you. It's
mm-hmm.
still domestic violence.
Yep.
As simple as that.
Yep, as simple as that. You guys get ready. Michelle, I want to say thank you so much for coming on today. They going to get the goodness when they come to the book fair to experience your books. You guys, that's Michelle. Well, they can go to michellerenee.com. Is that where they can
Yes.
go? All right, let me
Yep.
get that name up so y'all could get that clear.
MichelleRenee.com.
That's right, michellerenee.com. That's how you spell her name right there, baby. And come and get books that are going to teach you how to do family better, teach you how to
Yes.
do relationships better in a way that's entertaining. And people love her writing. So thank you for being here today, my darling.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love having you. And we are going to take a quick commercial break and get ready for our next guest. Our next guest. I got dope sisters up here, baby. Who said it ain't good women in the world? Anyway, thanks, Michelle. You guys, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with somebody I know you're going to love. Let's see it. Let's get it.
Hello, I'm Jarima, CEO of Burst Into Books.
And I'm Asada, the founder of the Soulful Chicago Book Fair.
Burst Into Books is a literacy organization geared to children ages 6 months to 13 years old. We provide family programming and workshops to help children build their reading and writing skills.
And the Soulful Chicago Book Fair happens several times a year, but helps to create literary programming that lovers of Black literature can enjoy the world over.
We have joined forces to bring you something special.
Come and feast your eyes on books for Black children of all ages. Meet over 50 authors and organizations, including children's authors that write for and cater to our young ones. Come purchase and be surrounded by over 50 titles that include images where our children see themselves. Get there early to win door prizes from DTLR for our first 50 patrons, and enter into our Timuel D. Black essay contest. Win a shopping spree from DTLR, otherwise known as Villa. You'll enjoy live performances, a DJ, great food, and more.
I'm so excited.
Girl, it looks so much fun. I love it.
So mark your calendar, Saturday, April 13th, 2019.
That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., you guys.
At my school, Butler College Prep, on the corner of 104th and Maryland, 821 East 103rd Street.
Be there. Visit www.soulfulchicagobookfair.com for more information. Why are you playing with me? You already know. She didn't even know I was going to play that. I know she don't know. This next guest, the reason why I felt it was so important to bring her on here, because she's done a book fair with me. And she's another, somebody call us book goddesses. She's another book goddess. And she makes sure she represents for the young people. I'm bringing on my girl, Jarima Gorham. What's up, beauty?
Hello, Asada. How are you?
I am just loving life, and I want to thank you for coming on here today because, look, we doing the work out here in the literary world. So I want you to just tell the audience about your organization. Let me tell y'all, when I tell people the title of her organization, they go, what is that? They don't even know. They be in New York. They be all over there. But that Burst in the Books, tell us about Burst in the Books and what that energy is about. Why'd you create it and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so hello everybody. I'm Jarima Gorham. I founded Burst into Books in 2018 really as a response to a lack of family centered literacy programs for our children on the south side of Chicago. I'm a mother. I've been in education since 2008, and looking for programs for my own son was always outside of my community. We had to travel to Lincoln Park or Hyde Park, and I am born and raised Southside Auburn Gresham. And I knew plenty of families just by being an educator and being a mom who wanted the same programming for their children in their community. And so we started Burst into Books from book clubs, and then it has evolved to community events. We do author talks, virtual programming. And then 2 years ago, we launched our festival. And I was so blessed to be able to be introduced to Asada in my first year of starting Birth into Books, because as I was sharing, one of the things that I've always wanted was a book fair that was dedicated to authors of color, Black authors, right, on the South Side, because that was not something that I saw as well. And someone was like, "Oh, you need to meet Asada because she is already on that." And I was so excited because, again, and very humble, to be honest, because I'm like, she don't know me. She don't, this is our first time meeting. She didn't have to say, yes, let's do a children's book fair, right? Because I know that her book fair was like centered around all writers. But I feel like immediately as we met, we just connected, and we both felt like, man, if we're going to do the work, let's do the work. And I believe our energies matched perfectly. And within our first year, that April, we hosted our first book fair. My school was open to the idea, and since then, it's just been amazing to see how both of our works has continued to evolve.
Girl, play. Look. What? Girl. So, what I love, there's a calm that Jarima brings to the literary world. This work that is, I don't like saying hard, but there are several components to it that make it's not always easy. And getting that support from people is a thing, but the mission keeps it tight. So talk about, because you done blew up since then, boo. I be seeing her on all kind of shows. I be like, wait a minute, girl. Talk a little bit about what's the evolution of Burst into Books. What have you experienced since that beginning time?
Yeah, so since we started, like I said, in 2018, we have continue to host community events. We have our book club. In 2020, we were able to purchase a building in Roseland. So Roseland is the area that I have just really drawn, really, like a deep connection just because of teaching in the area. And then also I went to school in Morgan Park, which is another far south side. So just knowing and remembering that space when I was younger and wanting to be a part of like the rebirth of that space. And so it was very important, again, that I chose areas that many people aren't choosing to do their work, right? So we were, proud and happy to get that building. In 2022, yes, is when we did our first festival, right? Because again, in the Pullman neighborhood, which is right next to Rosen, because again, back to 2018, wanting to have a space where we can continually bring our families to our community. So we've been able to host that festival. We're going into our third year this year. We've been able to, God has really just blessed us in a lot of ways. We've been able to distribute a lot of free books to the community, partner with schools. We're a school vendor now. So I do after school programming with teachers. We do workshops with parents, workshops with families. And then I think my biggest endeavor within the next couple of years is that we can be a place that we funnel in the next generation of writers. So we started a writing lab because many of my babies, as they're starting to meet authors and be involved, they're like, I got a story to tell. I want to be an author. And so just really preparing them to be able to be published authors, and so that they're able to go ahead and be able to be a change in the world and sharing their stories. So I feel like this is just my mission's work. And I'm just blessed whenever, again, like I get alignment with people who also have the same heart for the community. And so when Asada asked me to be on this, it's a no-brainer. Like it's a no-brainer. So I'm just grateful to even be here and be able to share whatever I can.
Man, and I be trying to keep up with homegirl. I be like, what's she doing? I be like, what's she on? Good Morning America. Like, just straight adoration. And this is what I was talking about. We had a meeting last night in the metaverse, and we were talking about, getting good book reviews and things like that. But I was saying how at the crux of what we do needs to be our intention and our compassion that people feel. People will write reviews for you, but they got to feel you. And I look at the work that we do. The reason why you keep getting blessings is because you're not out there trying to get blessings. You out there trying to create a reality, and that's why I love you as a sister in the literary arts, because you've taken responsibility, in Scientology. I keep bringing it up because there be some good quotes. L. Ron Hubbard said, if you see a problem, look at what you didn't do and know why it's a problem. Yeah, our kids need to read good. Get that programming up. Get everything we need. And your son, how old is he now?
He's 12 now. He'll be 13 this year. It was just so crazy, right? That's why I'm in
I
the car. I'm
remember
like, I
him.
was like, Asada, don't be mad at me. Traffic was bad getting him to school. So yeah, he is in 7th grade now. When I started with Trey, he was 7. So just
Yeah,
he's also seen it and it's like grown with him. So it's been really,
yeah.
really beautiful to watch.
I'm trying to tell y'all, see this thing about legacy leaving and getting when you could do things for and with your children, it's a wrap. Like it's gonna grow because you're procuring the future by giving them what they need, the tools they need to keep this bad boy going. And so, I wanted to have you involved in the mix today because collaboration, the sister just said that, Michelle, or she might have said that last night. I'm getting confused, but she talked about collaboration and how the way we're going to do this well is to continue to collaborate. Not me over here doing this, you over here doing that. Like, let's overlap. Let's go ahead, support each other. Let's get this thing growing. And so the book fair on the 20th is an extension of that. What I love about Jarima too, Jarima be coming to my book fairs now. She got her own event, but she be at my book fairs and I'll be at her events too, because that's what it takes, period. Like, let's give this energy to each other. I never say, come support the author. We're not no charity case. Just come and have fun and revel in the stories that we created for ourselves. And that you go to Barnes and Nobles, go look for the Black section. I don't know where it's at. I ain't saying they ain't got it, but you can see it during Black History Month. But in general, it's too hard to find books for our children that look like them. Like I said, when them big companies come to our schools and do their book fairs, the books don't even have our kids in them. And that should create somewhat of an outrage in us. We gotta chill that out and make sure that we supply our children with what they need. And I had to have you on because we actually collaborated and did that together. And man, it's just growth from there. There's nothing else we could say. We're just continuing to do good work. So I want to thank you for coming on today, darling.
Thank you for inviting me. And I just want to say this as well. I've always admired, because I think, to your point, collaboration is true. And you also want to make sure that you're around people who really are doing it because they have the heart for it. Right. And I think a lot of times, like you said, community work is not beautiful all the time. Like, and it's unexpected, and you're really like, man, I just really want to see, like, be that change I want to see in the world. And I just know, even your spirit, your heart, like, you really, really, really love the work that you're doing. And I think that manifests in so many different ways. And I know, even, I mean, at the end of the day, you gonna be excited because the side is excited, and you know that she is rooting for you. And what better person to have rooting for you as a cider, right? So I think that at the end of the day, it's important that we support people who support us, right? And I think a lot of the authors, people go when they do different things, but I think at the end of the day, you got to remember who supported you when no one else was even thinking about your name, right? And not because they wanted some kind of glow or some kind of, recognition from it. They just saw that you have a heart and I have a heart for us. Let's do this work together. A lot of times within our community, there's so much competition instead of collaboration. Like
Oh, wait.
we feel like each other is our our competitors. And there's so much out here for our community, right? Like, even when it comes to other literacy orgs, just like I support Asada, I'm like, look, please start another book club. Please start another festival. Like, there can never be enough of representation of us in the community. So I think at the end of the day, we got to change our mindset. What's
Mm.
for you is for you, what's for me is for me. And the more we work together, the more we're able to make a greater impact. You know, at the end of the day, it's not about my name being glorified, it's about our stories being told. And I think that we just got to change our mindsets about that. Even at the book fairs, right?
Mhm.
Authors, what I love to see at your space and even at my festivals, authors are supporting one another, right?
Yes.
Like, table, and I'm like, oh, you looking for a book? So and so got a book over there like that. Go over and see their table, right? Because you
Mhm.
understand the sales are going to come to you because you are supporting another author that's also trying to do the work. Don't look at this work as competition. Look at it as really changing narratives and changing mindsets. And that's why when people ask about our work, I'm like, I'm always about a village mindset. When we're in a village mindset about things, we understand that I need you to survive,
Mm.
right? Like,
Mm.
we all bring something to the table. I'm not my best self if you're not a part of it. So I think we need to understand that. So many times we get these other ideologies in our minds about business, and it's not what our roots, what our ancestors was about. We are about village. We are about building together, and we are about really rooting each other on. Because if we don't root each other on, who is?
Who is?
Who's rooting you on? Who's rooting you on more than your brother and your sister? You know?
True that. True
So
that.
I
And that
think that is why it matters. It's not just about book sales and events. It's about us really reclaiming who we are in this society.
absolutely good. Look, I said, look, I should be like the end. Bye, guys. Look, bye, bye. No, because that right there, it's so many layers to our people, and at the base of many of our decisions is self hate. And if
Yes.
I hate myself, I hate you too. That's
Yep.
why we could kill each other and things like that, the jealousy. And so there's some layers here. We have to set the example on how to do it the right way, how to do it with love, how to do it with support. I mean, I feel people, even in this industry of the literary world, they be like sneaking, going and making a book fair and calling it a book fair. I don't care if you go call it whatever you want it. Go do it. We need you doing that while I do this. Jarima do that. Like we just need to make this like a what they call it, like a matrix of
Mhm.
literary excellence where we just because we not only spread it, but see people who write books have a level of intelligence that we need to reinstill. You understand?
Mhm.
Because, like I said
Mhm.
before, the anti literacy laws that were created just for Black people to make sure that they did not read and that they lost their fingers, eyes, tongues, whatever, if doing it, there's never been a pause for healing from that.
Yep.
And so, if you got Black people not wanting to read, it come from all that.
Yep.
This because you can't, like I said, you can't take the people who created writing and then talking about they don't like to read. Be quiet. From hieroglyphs to all the way to now, we write our own stories. This show is called Gathering of the Griots. We tell stories and carry traditions and
Yep.
history in that medium. And so all the stuff that existed that tore us down, who cares? We need to just continue to do this. And like you said, it's no competition. Let's just make this to where people feel it. We got to rock the literary industry because people get support for dance, people get support for fine art, people get support for a lot of other arts, but the literary arts be getting the short end of the stick. But guess what? Boop, boop, not no more. That's
Yep.
our role, taking responsibility for making this whole movement of us taking them authors and bigging them up. I really want to say thank you to you for saying that in terms of feeling a certain way about how I treat you guys. Michelle Renee says that a lot of times in terms of my support of you guys. I'm not even thinking of it. It's just a thing. I just let's go. I want to do it. And it's so funny because I wasn't even raised necessarily to be like a bookworm. God told me, get up and do that. And so I was
Mhm.
like, okay, well, okay. And so that is
Mhm.
what really is the steam and the engine behind all of this is that God said to do it. I thought I was going to get a break during the pandemic. But no, it had to continue. And that's why we took the book fair into the metaverse and all of that. Real quick, what's the future for Bursting in the Books? What do you see?
Wow. So the future is we are currently right now gearing up for our festival. It'll be July 27th this
Okay,
year.
July.
So we are about to in next month really like the advertising of that. You'll see a lot more. We're just finalizing some little bit details. But the major future that I just shared is that I want to create a pipeline of youth authors. So
Nice.
we've been working with a few different orgs to do writing programs, but just in-house, we're like, man, how do we really create a space for our Black stories to be told through the youth? So that's my next focus of like, how do we really create, because I think that there's this misconception that our babies don't like to read, they don't want to write, they don't want to, it's just a different approach to it, right? And at the end of the day, it's about also just creating space for them just to be creative. I think our kids have been introduced to reading as a test or homework. They just don't see the love of it, right? And so just these festivals and book fairs are important because one, not only do they see themselves, but they see the joy of reading. Right. And I think a lot of times our kids are missing that piece of it. And so we are really trying to just like create that space. So that's my next focus. That the next few years, you'll start seeing more authors and youth authors coming through Bursting to Books that will be at the book fair, right? Selling their books, because ultimately we create a space for them where they normally don't have a voice to share their story. So that's the next
Absolutely.
stuff for Bursting to Books.
That excites me because we even have as one of our pillars of our Soulful Book Fair Foundation is to support youth writers, period. Whether they're doing spoken word, writing books, we want to be about that. My own daughter, come on, her first book came out when she was 7, you understand? And now she's 20. And so you have the legacy of that and this the skill of that. And so please, any help you need, come to me because I'm here for it. Like just the production, the marketing, anything that's part of what we do too. So we can definitely do some collaboration to get
Thank
in
you.
book
And I
writing.
see Michelle. She said she want to connect me with her aside. I would love to just talk and see where the synergy is. So yes,
Oh,
please.
let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cause that one right there, look, she a beast. She don't go, do you want to do this? She does it. So by the time you could say yes, do it, it's already done. So we
That's
need
my type of people. That's my type of people right
Ooh,
there.
you need that innovation nation, baby. You need innovation. So thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you so thoroughly. Y'all look forward to y'all might see her walking around on April 20th.
Oh, you
Coming
will definitely,
and come
definitely.
promote your event so people can know to take that promo. And we want a calendar of book events that you're going to go to and tell others about, because the only reason we don't look, it'd be like 10,000, 20,000 people at the beer fest. Stop at Get your 10,000 self to these book events, because this is us taking responsibility for our own future, our own stories, you guys. And that's really what it's about. And we doing the work for you. So just come on and enjoy yourself.
Just
That's
go.
how. Just come. Mwah. Love you, girl.
Love you
Thank
too.
you
See you
so
soon.
much. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I love you a million
Love you
times.
too.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. So this is what we're talking about now. We're talking about April 20th. And I think, let me just give you another little visual of that. So we're talking about Saturday, April 20th. We calling it the Soulful Chicago Spring Fling Book Fair. Okay, Spring Fling. And if you want to learn more, you can go to soulfulchicagobookfair.com. If you are an author and you want to sell your book at this event, you need to go to soulfulchicagobookfair.com and simply go to author submission. Okay. And go ahead. We got to vet you before we put you in there, y'all. We're not going to have people in there with no foulness. We don't play that. So, yep. If you're an author, you go to soulfulchicagobookfair.com. You click on author submission and go ahead and register. But it's going to be a great day, guys. Always good food. Major activities. You heard that from my girl Dion Victoria earlier, and you're just gonna see so much. If you're a fiction person, you are going to love the fiction. You're going to love the stories that you see. There's mystery. There's even a little urban fiction. A lot of people think that they can't bring urban novels to our book fair, and it's not that. We just can't have risque covers or titles that would make a child go, "Mommy, why are they doing that?" No, we don't want to create that, right? So, but please put this on your calendar, April 20th, from 10 to 6, and tell your people to be there. This is going to be at Betty Shabazz right on 78th and Ellis. And like I said before, there is going to be entertainment. We have my girl Dion Victoria with the art party. We have my girl Sherry Soul. She's the vocalist. Oh, she's so good. Oh, you better get inspired. And then Music Magic Time. That's my girl Yakiti. They do music with children. And so the entertainment's going to be great. I would probably try to slip a DJ in it too. But I also want to say thank you to our sponsor. We welcome sponsors, guys. We need them. But our very first sponsor, CEO Superheroes. It's a children's organization that helps them learn STEAM and get involved in science. So that's always something that our communities don't have enough of. Now I want to show you one other thing that caters to our growth. The Metaverse Mingle. You see this? The Metaverse Mingle. The getting in the metaverse is a thing. Don't be scared, y'all. It might look like a game, but we're actually in there building. I met a sister this week in the metaverse. Her name is Amy Scott. Oh my gosh. She has helped us learn so much about how to make sure people are finding our websites. You find people in the metaverse that's living on a whole nother level, y'all, because they are building in technology. You think, well, we're not going backwards. We're not going back to using the phonograph. No, we're going forward and doing things in a more digital way. And so when you're in the metaverse with us, you actually eliminate time and space. And what I mean by that is you ain't got to worry about the traffic was heavy. You ain't got to worry about, oh, I couldn't find parking. Oh, I live an hour away. You can be in your bed and come in the metaverse. It only takes you 1 minute to get in there. And so once you go to verbella.com, you see that written on there. You can download the community on your not your iPad. Well, let's talk about that. You could download it on your laptop or your desktop. If you don't have a laptop or a desktop, you just get in contact with me and see if I can help you. But yeah, then you're going to create your avatar. See them little people on that sign? They got afro puffs and locks, and you can be bald head. You can dress in a suit. You can dress in jeans. It's totally up to you. But we we have books on sale already in the metaverse. So when you come into our Soulful Chicago world, you will see books for sale as soon as you get in. You see a book, you just got to tap it. And that's going to have you start to purchase the books that we have there. So yeah, this is a very strong environment, you guys, for building books. What I personally love is I love that God gives me these things in my mind at 4:00 in the morning when I'm waking up. He be telling me what to do. He be like, okay, this is the direction you're gonna go. This is the direction you're gonna go. But I think bigger for me is that I need you to have book experiences. This is not just about buying the books. It is definitely about that, right? Because we want to be able to make a living from our books. And who gonna buy Black books if not Black people, right? But it is viable. It's something that can really grow. You could look at the girl, what's her name, that wrote Harry Potter? She good. She was homeless, but she good. She wrote that book, and look, her clientele wasn't even per se her peers, but it was the children, right? That told their mama, I need that book. So we're talking about a similar situation where I am interested in creating book experiences where people come, and even the vendors, they not just selling their books, they dancing, they're listening to poetry, they're listening to music, and just getting it so that books become a part of our socialization again. There was a time where writing and leaving messages, we did it a lot through art, but leaving messages that tell a story, that's what we do. So we want to rehabilitate that ability. We want to get that back in the mix for our people so that, hey, we continue to grow. So let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we got some good old authors coming to the table. If you want to call in again, the number is 727-731-5192. I got it at the bottom there for you. You make sure you write it down, but we're going to come back after these messages and get it on with some more of our writings that are new to our family. And so, I just love them. So let's just take a look and we'll be right back.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees?
Soulful Chicago Book Fairs are the most exciting Black book fairs on the planet. Born in July of 2016, Soulful Chicago Book Fairs have both increased the literary marketplace for Black writers and given lovers of Black literature places to find books about the Black experience the world over. The main summer book fair stretches 4 city blocks on 61st Street between Cottage Grove and King Drive. Each block is characterized by its own genre, donning the works of fiction authors, nonfiction authors, and children's authors. The day begins with a procession of elders atop a float, demonstrating the book fair's honoring of community elders. The entertainment of the Soulful Chicago Book Fair has been second to none. Audiences travel to its Grammy-level stage, which has featured musical artists such as Eric Roberson, King, and many of Chicago's multicultural talent. The book fair's community stage sits equidistant from either end and showcases puppet shows, open mic sessions, and author talks for festival goers to enjoy. Aspiring authors have enjoyed the Soulful Chicago Book Fair's lineup of helpful workshops on publishing, writing for children, and legalities of the publishing industry and more. From its exhibitors to its entertainment, its workshops to its overall power, Soulful Chicago Book Fairs will continue to breathe literary life and prosperity into the South Side of Chicago for decades to come. How it's gonna be, so much to see.
The all-new
All
GoDaddy
right,
Oro helps you get
y'all.
your business online
Look,
in
let
minutes
me
with the
turn
power
up
of AI.
these YouTubers, get them out of there. So basically, we are loving life today. We are talking about the next event, April 20th. Yes, indeed. It's called the Soulful Chicago Spring Fling Book Fair. And we've been featuring authors and entertainers today that are going to be at that event. Please, it's a free event. So come on through. It's going to be at Betty Shabazz, and I'll put that image up one more again so you can see it. It's going to be at the Betty Shabazz Academy on 78th and Ellis at 7823 Ellis from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We always do a event. We do like a beginning where we have the elders being honored. And so make sure you're there at 10 for that process as well. So I am going to bring on an author that I just met this brother. He was at our holiday book fair, and I saw a lot of people walking out with that book. And so this brother, new to the table, he's going to tell you a little bit about, how is he even in our cipher, right? I'm going to bring him on. But before I get to him, because we're going to end out with his energy, there is a sister who wrote a book. She's new to our family too. And I saw her book. I said, we need that book. I'm going to bring her on. Her name is Shalika Smith. Come on to the stage. How are you, sister?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm loving life. You looking good, girl. You looking nice and crisp this morning.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about your book, Shalika, and how did you even find out about the book fair? Because you're new to the family.
I am. So my name is Shalika Smith. I'm the author of Grief, I Didn't Sign Up for This. It's a collection of stories and interviews of people traveling on their grief journey. And the book was really created to create community, a grief community for people, because grief can be very isolating. So I actually found out about the book for a big book fair from someone that I met at a book fair at the Bessie Coleman Library. Her name is Emily Nicole. She is the author of Touched and Cutters. So I met her and she put me on and she told me about it. So she told me about the one she attended last year. And I was like, okay, let me know when you get more information. So that's how I found out about it. And I'm so excited. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for seeing the greatness, the need for this conversation. One of the things that I do outside of being an author is going into different spaces and having conversations about grief. We don't talk about grief. I used to think it was just a thing we did in the African American culture, but I'm learning that no culture, especially Western cultures, we just don't, grief is not something that we visit a lot. And we need to, because the reality is there's nobody that will live and die and not experience some level of grief, even if it's not from the death of a loved one. We grieve any loss of anything. It could be a job. It can be geographical change, divorces. So there's so many things that we experience grief through. Why aren't we talking about it?
Thank you, girl. Look, I personally, if you're going to get to know me some more, but I'm always so cuckoo birds and just jumping all over the place, right? And grief is an emotion that's interesting because I don't personally get there, but then sometimes it just rise on up. Like my dad passed away in September. He passed away, I think, the day before my daughter's birthday. And I mean, people were like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And I actually, in my spirit, didn't feel a loss. I felt a sense of like purpose. I got to push. I'm carrying the torch now, right? But then sometimes, girl, I'll be like, oh, let me call my father. I'll be like, girl, this is not possible. Unless you
like a boulder and it comes and it hits you and you can't control it. And you like, where did this come from? I thought I was okay. And a lot of times, because we're functioning, and a lot of us, we're high functioning people. And then something happens, and it could be a smell. It could be wanting to pick up the phone. It could be driving past somewhere that you visited. It could be a birthday. All, I'm not big on the word triggers, but it really can be all these different things that it be like, and they're gone.
Wow.
And it's like a reality check, and I get it. I get it. I actually, the reason I wrote this book was in 2020, along with the rest of the country, because we were in the middle of a pandemic, I see Jerome was like, I know Shalika. I was like, when I saw her on earlier, I was like, oh my goodness, I know Jerome. but my nephew died on September the 27th, 2020. He actually had some health challenges, young man, and his body was just like, I'm done. And then 2 months later to the day, my brother passed away. And he was killed, and I was broken. Still broken. Though their fathers, my dad and my brother, had already passed away. So they were actually the last two of my direct relatives, males. And I was devastated. I was so devastated. And to be honest, the only when people were honest with me about their grief and their grief experience, that's when I felt like, okay, you looking at them and they've made it through it. You can do this. And I was like, I feel comforted when people share with me. So I decided I was going to put a book together. Me and my project manager, I told her about it and she was like, let's do it. And I have never written a book before, didn't know the first thing about where to go, what to do. But I was like, I know that this is a conversation that is not being had. This is a space where we shy away from, even if I've had a couple of times where I've been to events so far and people see the name of the book and see the topic and literally will walk away. And I'm like, it's not what you think. You probably need it more than you think you do. And there's so many different stories in the book. And I feel like as I've gone through the process and I've met more people and people have shared with me about their grief, I realized that this is a conversation and it can't go unspoken because we need each other. I call my book a community book because there is nobody that's going to read this book and there's not something in this book from one of these stories that you're not going to relate to. There's 33 other people besides myself that have wrote in the book. Anywhere from pastors, there's a clinician, there are people who lost their parents, children, grandparents, siblings, friends. There's a story about divorce. There's a story about a woman who just wanted to have children and she couldn't at the time. That title is Temporary Childless. And it's my pride and joy. It's my baby. I love it. And I talked to someone last week and she said, I don't send people flowers anymore. I send them your book when somebody passes away. And to hear that, I'm like, God, thank you. Because you knew what to give me. You gave me something that you trusted me with. You know, I love them. I appreciate it. There were times throughout the process I was like, okay, God, hold on now. Because I continue to lose people. Even after my nephew and my brother passed away, my cousin was killed in a car accident. My grandmother passed away. My uncle passed away. My daughter's first cousin passed away. So it was just like, Lord.
Right.
Lord, like, thank you for keeping me because I know it's you. but I realized this is a space. How many of us we go to if we have our funerals and then we're left alone with that because everybody who was around us the first couple of weeks have gone back to their lives and then we're sitting with our sadness and this new reality. And who do we talk to? Because the reality is if I called somebody today hysterically crying, they're going to think I'm crying about something that happened today. But really the thing is the grief caught up with me. You know, grief lasts a lifetime. I loved these people for all my life, known them all my life, and we're not expected to just snap back in place.
Right.
It's not realistic.
Right.
So this is the space where when you can't go to the people that are around you, I encourage creating a grief community. But when you can't talk to the people around you, you can pick this book up and there's somebody in the book that's going to say something that you're like, that's how I feel. And even if you can't articulate it, they can articulate it for you.
Let me tell you, girl, you and me the same. And let me tell you how good we are. So, because when I had my stroke and I had an experience, it spawned me making my book. So these life experiences, when we take them bad boys and listen to God about addressing the issue, I knew my first book is Beating Black Kids. It's about not beating our children. And like you said, people come to my book and be like, I don't want to read that. Why? They be like, why you make that? Cause you need to do it. He said, well, I'm gonna hit them kids good. You need to read it, sit on the toilet and read it, and then you get some clarity. But I love that you wrote this book, because I was just talking to a sister last week that had so many deaths in her family. I can't wait to tell her about your book. You guys, if you're watching, this is one of the authors you're going to see at the April 20th book fairs. Shalika Smith, she is going to have this book, Grief, I Didn't Sign Up for This, and it will help you. I'm going to do like that girl did. We ain't going to send flowers. We're going to send this book. That's what we're going to do. So I want to thank you for being on today, because girl, I could see it. I can see your success. I'm telling you right now, certain things I can see, your aura got it. And so God gave you this book to write. Those losses are actually going to be responsible for your gains. I want you to.
The Bible says everything works to the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And I remember praying, I said, Lord, your word says everything works. So I need you to show me how this going to work. Because what I'm feeling right here, right now, that ain't it. But I am grateful that my pain and my experience is birthing something that will help people. And it's not limited to Black people. I can count on one hand how many African-American people in this book. There's Latinos in this book. There's white people in this book, because grief has no boundaries.
None. Right.
Grief has no boundaries. I lost my first brother when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So grief has no boundaries. My niece and my nephew were 3 when their dad died. So, everybody needs a conversation. And I hope that it encourages even for us to have conversations with our families, because we don't.
Right.
We stay away from it, but we can't do that anymore. So
your book is going to be the catalyst, baby, for that change. I can see that. And so you guys see my girl on April 20th. At the book fair. She gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Yep. And I'm so glad you were on the show today. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes. And I look forward to promoting you, because that's a very, very, very important book. And like you said, people not talking about it, but they about to right now.
I love it. Thank you.
Love you. Peace. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure.
All right. Yo, this is what we're doing, yo. We are showing you authors that are going to be at the book fair. You see the variety? Children's affirmation cards, books on grief, books on dealing with domestic violence. But now I'm going to bring on an author. You already know when a brother write a book. I love a brother writing a book. I just do. Now, I just love to hear a brother's viewpoint about a thing. But when you got a brother who going to write about what? He going to write about love? Oh, Lord. Let's bring on my man, and we're going to find out how he find us. How the world did he get in our world? This is R.R. Hutchinson. What's up?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm loving life a lot. So happy to have you on. So check it. Now, I saw people leaving with your book from that book fair left and right. Even young people.
Right.
So,
Love is Quarrel.
That's right. Love is Quarrel. So this is what I want you to do. Tell us a little bit about what's the book about, and how does it, what made you write it, all that good stuff.
So essentially, the book starts a young man named Nate Jones, and the one thing he wants more than anything else is to have a committed, fulfilling romantic relationship. Due to his height, being that he's on the shorter side, or just some of his own shortcomings, pardon the phrase, he was never able to find that relationship. But Nate, being a determined guy, doesn't give on that goal of having his fulfilling romantic relationship. So he goes through a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations in order to find that love and relationship. And it sees him even leaving the U.S. and traveling on the other side of the world to find that fulfilling relationship. It's definitely a story of perseverance, definitely a story of struggle. It's definitely a story of knowing who has your best interests at heart and who can you trust and who you cannot trust. And if it is definitely a story of somewhat of a, I don't want to give too much, but some of a fatal attraction. But what got me to write the book is actually took some of my own personal experience. I experienced, coming up as a teenager into my early adulthood, and I just had a story to tell. I've been coming across a lot of authors lately, and that's one thing I kept hearing. I had a story to tell. I had a story to tell. For me personally, I enjoy writing because it's a personal satisfaction. It gives me, it definitely helps me with a self-expression and expressing myself. Sometimes I can't articulate what I need to say, so it's easy to put it in a book, and it also allows my creativity and imagination to flow as well.
Do your brothers hear that now? We want to hear. I'm telling you, sisters love hearing how men think. You see all kind of movies come out about how men think about this and that. But I love stories by brothers because you do get to hear a lot of times a compassionate side. You get to hear that a little bit of the vulnerability, maybe, but it's just what's your take on the situation? Because women always talk about they take on a relationship situation all the time, love, blah, blah, blah. But what is a brother's viewpoint on how this rolls? And so, what in the world were you saying at the book fair that was making those people pick up that book and rock on? Like I liked variety. Yeah, talk
So
to
I
me.
think so. It was a combination of things. It was the book, the actual cover with the silhouette called people's attention, and that was kind of a component to get the conversation started. Of them, potentially purchasing the book. And the one thing I did is I wanted to make the story relatable. I actually went to a network meeting a few weeks ago, and the guy read the synopsis, the description on the back of the book, and the first thing he said was, "Man, this sounds just like me," because it's so relatable. Because so many people, are going through the same thing. They can kind of relate to that story or know somebody that's going through that thing, going through that same situation, and the actual fact that on top of being a published author, we also have a publishing company called Light Bright Publications, and the message of Light Bright is we bring dreams to reality. And that dream of writing that book, that dream of writing that autobiography, that dream of writing that finance book, and we want to serve the underutilized, underserved author, the one that doesn't get that big press from Merriam-Webster or Penguin Publishing House or New World Press. We want to give that unknown, undeserved author a shot at sharing their story with the world.
That meant look, boop boop boop. Me and you look, boop boop boop. Because see, look, one time this author tried to step to me. I'm talking to different Black people. It's a book event, blah blah blah. So I'm trying to tell them about being a part, and their whole vibe was, well, people usually hire me out of. I was like, girl, everybody a star in my book fair. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't play that. Like
see, that was the point. And then even from people I've talked to, because a lot of people are self-published, and the thing about self-publishing is nothing wrong with it, but to the general public, it's seen as quote unquote less than. So our platform, coming from an actual public company, gives them that gives that book so much more credibility, so much more prestige, and you also riding on this journey with us as well in terms of publishing your book.
Absolutely, and it's really important. I believe in carrying oneself. I am not interested in being approved by somebody who ain't never approved me before. I am not. And no shade on those who go to the big publishing companies. But I mean, people ask a lot of times which one to do, self-publish or publish with a company. And I'm like, you just better read that fine print. Because if you saying, look, if we talking about if you sign with us, that's cool. We'll even give you X amount of $1,000. But we want at least 4 more books by next year. What?
And they want the money back that they invest in it. So they give you a $20,000-$50,000 contract. You don't make no money until you pay them back. So and then just the concept of I know one of the things that we've done, because we actually shout out to the Soulful Book Fair, because we actually found our first client at the Soulful Book Fair. We actually have one of the gentleman who's publishing an autobiography and telling his side of the story, and just the concept of the entire process, the book cover design, the editing, the copyright, which is very important as well, that people don't really think about. And in terms of any other consulting that we're doing, it definitely gives people a peace of mind knowing that there is a publishing company out there that actually cares about their clients, actually cares about their vision, and wants to share that vision with the world.
Did y'all hear that? He said he got his first client at the book fair. Stop playing with me. I
Yeah.
told you it's more than just a table with some books and you're selling. That networking is a beast. If you really rocking with the book fair, that networking, don't take it lightly because it can catapult your whole future with your book. I mean, just an amazing experience because it's like great knows great. Book fair, no book. Like people who love
Right.
books, people who
Right.
write
Right.
books. And so you get to really build your whole platform by being there. It's just, I haven't found anything quite like it. I've seen other people start events, but that love that being that event, y'all already know. I
Right.
be
Yeah.
dancing. I be getting it like, dude, what? To the house music.
Yeah.
It's a party. So, I'm just loving that you were there. Let me ask, how long has your book been out?
So we published it October of last year. So
Okay.
it's been a few months. I'm actually working on my second book right now as we speak, which I'm enjoying it, but I'm so tired of some of the other things that it's kind of taken away from it. But I love writing. It's kind of funny. I've been fortunate to discover my purpose and my passion at a younger age. That I don't. But I'm enjoying the journey. But yeah, the book has been out for a couple of months. For a few
Nice.
months.
Do you have like words of advice for other brothers? And we're gonna keep it, brother. Because let me tell you something. Ooh, this event, the brothers been registering and getting their
Yeah.
booths faster than the sister. I like this. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm
It was
loving seeing all of y'all come to the table. So, like, do you have like words for brothers who are out there who are thinking about writing and like, because I think sometimes they don't want to be vulnerable and they don't want to tell. You got to be like,
So it's not about so yeah. When it comes to man, we definitely have to walk a thin line when it comes to being vulnerable. But sometimes it's better. You got to think about the long term and the long term effect. Sometimes it's better to kind of get it out as opposed to keep holding it in. Just not just on an emotional level, but just health wise. It can lead to stress. It can lead to ulcers. It can lead to some of the other health issues. So it's definitely good to just kind of get it out. And the one because I faced a lot of criticism when I wrote the book. Or people were like, "You writing a book or a love book?" And I'm like, sometimes you gotta just not care what anybody thinks. Just do it because you got to. It's not just about you expressing yourself, which is important. But you're thinking about so many people that you can help, so many people that can benefit from it, and it can also cause a chain reaction. If you open up, another brother might be comfortable and open up. Another brother might be comfortable and open up. Then we can kind of get rid of that stigma of we got to just kind of hold it inside.
Right,
Sometimes
right.
it's good to get it out.
I love that. And I love that part about you gotta not care what other people have to say. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I came up with my first book, my book is a small book, it fit in your pocket, blah, blah, blah. And I just had people that wanted to give their little 2 cents at peanut gallery talking about you ain't make it this size and it's not gonna move. Next thing you know, I was on CNN, Al Jazeera, ABC, blah, 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 and they had to zip that mouth. You cannot listen to them because the reality, guys, is that God gave you that to do. And the
Right.
fact that you do it, that's where your blessings is going to come. It's that you
Right.
used your innate gift of writing to tell a story. So I want to say, brother, thank you for coming on
Appreciate it.
today. You guys, y'all gonna go see R.R. Hutchinson. And I know I spelled that wrong a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
The Lover Quarrel, that is the name of the book. Okay, The
That's right.
Lover Quarrel. Look,
It
look,
would be
you
at the
gotta,
Soulful Book Fair. Believe me, it would be the Soulful Book Fair along with some of the other products that we offer at Light Bright Publications.
no doubt about it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming here today and being on Gathering of the Griots.
No problem.
See
Thank
you at the event. You got it. All right, guys. So it's that time. We on our way out. I love you. Peace. See you next Tuesday. And be ready for the grandeur. Peace. Let's close on out.
But you can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution.
10 seconds.
Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Zanyaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsahamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, John Kujon, France, Merci, Spain, Gracias, Italy, Grazie, Egypt, Shukran, Ghana, Medasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Nyabonga, Senegal, Jerez, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.